Hey, I'm Shelby.
And I'm Courtney.
We're exploring our past
Looking forward to our future,
and living for the present, all
all while
while
learning
learning
how
to
to
live
live
magic.
magically.
Hello.
Hey!
First things first, can we talk about the FOMO of Run Disney the last
Oh
two
my
weeks
God, I'm having terrible FOMO, especially because it's like last weekend was the marathon, but now people are at
in
Disneyland. And
Disneyland? And
yeah,
I'm just like, ugh.
it's unfair.
I mean, I'd be complaining if we were actually running, but
Me too.
I wish I was.
I know. I
It's an
agree.
odd feeling, an odd feeling.
Also, I've heard that the crowds in the parks over there are nuts, which makes sense because they were absolutely nuts over here during marathon weekend. But
Oh,
like, I still am jealous.
and like, yeah, the first run back at Disneyland, I can
Yeah.
only imagine.
Yeah. And like, casual shout out to our girl Brooke, BB Brooke, who
Yeah,
is doing her first like bi-coastal um expo.
Expo.
Yeah, I just
Yeah,
think that's like so cool. You've made it on a whole nother level.
I completely agree. And
So,
did she just like pack up the suitcases with all of her stuff?
right,
I
right.
would have to assume so, but wild.
I know, I have questions. It's amazing.
Me too.
And she runs. Like she's not just there hosting at the
No, she
booth.
just
She's also like
ran.
running.
Yeah, she just ran Dopey, and now she's running like the half there.
Yeah, it's good for her. It's amazing.
And our girl KG's running over at Disneyland.
Yeah, she is. KG, the running queen.
And it's her first time ever at Disneyland.
Yeah, I that's wild to me because she is such a Disney World expert.
It's wild to me, but also, don't you? That's like one of the experiences. Like, I wish I could get back is like going to Disneyland for the first time. Not like
Yeah,
get back, but you know what I mean? Like that feeling of being at Disneyland for the first time. Like, I would
yeah,
experience that over and over again.
yeah. I do still get a lot of that just because when we go over, it's always such a different experience. First of all, we don't
Totally
go
agree.
very often, neither do you. But
Yeah.
we also have friends there, one of whom is an Imagineer. So it's like super cool to see things through his lens.
Yeah.
He doesn't like tell us anything because, everything's super secret, whatever, but like just
But
knowing.
stuff that he like already has done, I'm sure can
Right,
share it. Yeah.
right.
Ugh.
So that's cool, but also like the same, just like you were saying, when you're like on your own and like you don't know whether to go left or right. You don't know
It's
where the nearest bathroom is.
I
Like
know.
it's
It's
weird.
I can't wait to go back to Disneyland.
I know. Let's plan a trip.
Okay, I'm in.
Then we can pop over to Alani.
Okay. Okay.
Just casual.
You know, Kyle was watching golf yesterday and they're playing in Hawaii and he was like, someday we should go play this golf course. And I was like, what? I mean, I'll go to
Yuck.
Hawaii, but like, I can't be playing a golf course that PGA players play on. Who do you think I am?
Also, like if you're on vacation in Hawaii, you don't want to be like golfing. You want to be like living your life.
I, me, yeah.
Right. I know.
And
Yeah, he
if
wants
it's
to golf. That's fine.
his ideal vacation,
Would be like golf him out.
yeah, I'm like, no, thank you.
Wild.
I will golf 3 holes and then I'll be bored. Thanks.
Yeah, same. Totally
Anywho,
same.
what else has been going on?
I have like a crazy, very random fact to share that like probably doesn't
Ooh,
matter to anybody other than me, but
share
you
it.
know, yeah, my friend Megan, like my best
Yeah,
best friend Megan,
yeah,
um, she works for a company like produces events for like the NFL, the Super Bowl, obviously, the Olympics, like all the big sporting events.
yeah.
And so her like biggest event right now, obviously, is the Super Bowl. And today we are recording on what, the 11th? The 12th. She leaves today to go to Vegas for planning the Super Bowl.
Like, and she's like there until mid-February.
She is there until mid-February.
Wow.
Isn't that wild?
Does she gamble?
No, she like
Oh,
hates
hallelujah.
gambling.
Thank God.
I know, she's
That would
lucky.
be dangerous.
Yeah, and like work obviously is paying for her like accommodations and flights and all that stuff. So that's good. But I just
That's
like
wild.
living in a hotel for a month in Vegas.
At least there it's probably a good hotel because Vegas, like, hotels are beautiful.
Yeah, she was at Caesars when she was there like last week for a planning meeting or something. They put her up in like a suite, like a
Oh
one
my God.
bedroom suite.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I hope
she's
she
like
like
living her.
gets time to go see like a show or something.
I know. Also, AJ, I was like telling him this same fact yesterday, and he was like, "Well, why don't you go to Vegas this weekend? It's a long weekend." And I was like, "Bye."
It's seriously though. I Ange and I, we both like have the Vegas itch bad.
Totally.
Like so ready to go back.
Well, it's been what, a year?
I know almost.
Yeah. So
It
let's
is like
go.
sort of becoming like a Disney World to me. I'm like
I
ready
know.
to
Wow. That's
make
big
a
words
yearly.
coming from you.
I take that back.
Yeah.
I would do like a yearly Vegas trip, but I want to do like 5 yearly Disney World trips. So it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not on that level and will never be on that level because for obvious reasons, but I
Well,
would
and you enjoy gambling, but I also like wouldn't consider you a gambler.
okay. Enjoying gambling is like a little bit I wouldn't even say that. I enjoy when I win, which is
Yeah.
not very often. And me gambling is like I'll walk into a casino with $100, and if
Right.
I win off of that, great. But if I lose it, like one, I'm like sad over a hundred
Of
dollars.
course.
But I'm not like we're not betting more than that. No way,
Yeah.
Jose.
Yeah. I feel that from you. And also you're not like a table games gal, really, are you?
No, I mean, like Kyle loves table games, so there's like
Yeah.
one game called like Pai Gow that like I
Yeah.
sort of kind of know how to play. And but also I can play that like with him and he can help me. He's like allowed to like at the table. So I'll sort of play that, but you have to like you can lose money so fast in that
Yeah.
game. So, like not fun for me.
Yeah. You're like a slots gal.
Yeah. In which yeah, exactly.
I love that. I mean, hey, you enjoy it, whatever. But it is
Only if I'm
it
winning.
right. And it is very much like a Disneyland experience or Disney World, except like when you're at Disney World and you're bleeding money, at least you're like getting something out of it.
Right.
Like,
Right. You know, somebody in my DMs, though, I didn't really ever think about this, but they said they were going to like Vegas around Christmas time to see like all the lights. And I can only imagine the Christmas displays at all the casinos.
oh, I bet.
That's got to be like
Like the
beautiful.
Bellagio. Yeah.
Oh, so now it's kind of on my bucket list, but like also I need to visit Disney World every single Christmas time of year. So it's how is
Maybe
that
we
going to
need to do
work?
like a
But
Disneyland Vegas
ooh,
Christmas trip.
okay. I'm
Thoughts?
I'm
Yeah,
in.
I'm into it. I'm into it too.
Well, that's so exciting for Megan.
I
I'm
know, just random fact, but I just like cannot believe that there are companies out there that require you to travel. Like I think she said she'll be in her apartment 3 nights in the next 6 months. Yeah, like I wild.
I need
But
to like talk to her more about it. I bet it's so fascinating.
yeah, it is. It's really her whole job is like very interesting and she works her butt off. It's like not
Yeah.
a walk in the park. Like she was working on Christmas. She works every weekend. She works, because there's sports during all those
Oh,
times.
it's
So
Kyle too. Yeah.
it's wild,
Except
but
always from home. But yeah, sports never
yeah.
stop.
Yeah, right.
It's always.
What's going on with you?
Um, I'm really on the workout train. Very proud
You
of myself.
are.
We're on like 2 weeks straight, and I got to brag about Kyle for a second. He is also on the workout train, and
Wow.
he has this goal that he is going to run a mile every single day this year.
Like run?
Oh yeah, he's been running like 10-minute miles,
Ew.
and he just does one mile a day.
Great.
Yeah, and he's done it every single day since the first.
Wow, I am super impressed.
Yeah, and he like truly, I will not lie, there's been a day where I was like, I don't have time or the motivation to work out right now, so I did like a stretch class,
Right?
and nope, he does his 10 minutes on the tread every day.
Wasn't your stretch class like in the evening though?
Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah. So he like ran in the evening.
No, he'll run. He's like pretty good about getting up in the morning and he'll go and like do his run and then like start his day. Yeah.
Oh, that is, I mean, I used to be a rower, and so we used to get up at like 5, 4, actually
Okay.
4, I think, to work out and then go about my day. And I think because of that, I'm like traumatized by morning workouts. But like anybody who can get up before work and work out, that is so
A lot of
impressive.
people do, but like I need to like drink my water, drink my coffee, eat something. I have to do like do I can't just like work out on an empty stomach. But then after you
Yeah.
eat, I have to like wait so long before I work out. And now it's noontime and
Yeah, right. No, I'm with you.
I just can't do that. But yeah, he can like get out of bed and just like go run downstairs, do his workout, and like start his day. But he's
I
also
love
been
that.
there's been a couple times where he like does it during his lunch break. I'm like, what is
Wow.
happening right now? But
Well, I mean, men don't have to like put on the full face to go back to their Zoom meetings. So,
it's yeah. And his like showers are like 2 seconds long. It's
yeah.
there's no hair washing involved. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
they
Rude.
don't they don't get it.
Yeah, they really don't get it. But
For
hats off to
me,
him. That's amazing.
yeah, for me, working out, the hardest part is probably the shower. That then takes up more of your time.
I don't actually mind the shower. Like the hardest part for me is the Jess Sims part, like getting started.
Yeah, but like, okay, like today I didn't work out before we're doing this, and you can't really tell, but I do have a little bit of makeup on. And so now what? I have to work out and I have to shower and it's gonna like come off. And then
Yes.
like
Yes.
we have plans later today, so like I'll have to put makeup on again. I just
Right. Like
can't,
we're doing this twice.
yeah,
Why?
I can't justify that.
No. And like what a waste of product. Like, come on.
That's also goes through my head. I'm like, this is money now.
Yeah. It's money,
that,
it's
that
time.
one little bit of mascara,
That
I can't
single
afford
swipe.
it.
Yeah, it's too much.
Oh my
I love
gosh.
it. There's
Anyway.
always an argument for like how you can get it done, and there's also always an argument about like why you can skip it. So,
Oh, I got the book of skip arguments.
oh, me too. I'm terrible.
But rumor is you're signed up for a Run Disney race.
Yes, Victoria and I signed up for the Springtime Surprise 10K.
Okay.
I'm super excited, but also like probably, if I'm being honest, the most out of shape that I've ever been in my entire life. So I'm really terrified.
No, this is your motivation.
Yeah, well, you're very good at motivating me, and like that is one of the things I value the most about our friendship is that we have a very like encouraging, there's no like competition, pressure, whatever. It's just very much like, did you do your best today? I did my best today. Congratulations.
See, and like we were just talking, like I have the book of excuses to not get it done for myself, but
Yeah,
there's no excuse for you to not get it done. Just get it done.
thanks. Thanks. Thanks, Chell. Appreciate it.
Just saying.
Catch me on the treadmill later. It's fine.
Okay, great.
I agree.
I'll I'll get on the bike. Maybe I'll get on the tread and then maybe I'll get on the tread on YouTube and watch like walk through the park so it's like I'm run Disneying
Oh, I love that.
since I'm having so much FOMO.
Yeah, well, and we didn't even mention that over here on the East Coast, we have iFarts starting
Oh
today.
yeah, today. Are you
Yeah,
going?
so I'm not an idiot. I'm not gonna go today. Um, but there are some highlights. First of all, Victoria just told me this yesterday. I had no idea that all of the food booth menus are now in the app.
Oh, that's
That's like so convenient.
very.
Yeah, I just like didn't know that. So I'm
Do
super
some
pumped. You can like
Research.
plan. Yeah,
Yeah.
do some research, like know what you want, whatever. I also, you're gonna think this is so stupid and whatever, but the popcorn bucket of
I
this
was just gonna say
festival,
that.
it is awesome. It is like the clear
It is
pyramids and it lights up.
they did this popcorn bucket
They
right.
did.
I am not here for a popcorn bucket, nor am I here for Figment, but
Right.
the fact that they made it, this is what gets me. The fact that they made it like truly the Disney parks
Yes. And it's like
is,
festival specific.
yes, that is what they did right. Like usually it's just like a character, but the fact they have like the building that only can be found in Epcot, so
Yes.
cool. Because now that's
Yeah.
like a true souvenir.
Yes. Yes. Agree. Agree. And it's so funny to me. I saw one on the internet today, like filled, and I think there are maybe 10 kernels of popcorn in it. Like it doesn't actually serve any purpose to hold
Well,
popcorn.
I was just thinking of like what else could you do with that popcorn bucket? Because
Yeah. I
there's
I need
got
to
to
figure
be
something out because I also am not like a collector of popcorn buckets, but this one
right.
is pretty great.
We got to be able to like put something else in it.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure some people on the internet will do something great. Like I saw, the famous Figment, like regular Figment popcorn bucket.
Yeah.
I know a lady who like bedazzles them like rhinestones and they're beautiful. But she did a Figment as Figment and then she did a Figment and painted it and then bedazzled it as Maleficent because like the horns
Oh,
are there and whatever.
yeah.
And then she did it again, painted it and bedazzled it as Mushu from Mulan.
That's cool.
And they're all great. It's
That's
like,
very cool.
yeah, something to do with your time. Also, like, neat that you made one character into three characters. Like, pretty
Where
cool.
is the opening on the Figment one?
I don't know.
Because if it's like at the top, oh my gosh, like Kate should
Yeah,
get it and put like her paintbrushes in it since it's also Festival of the Arts, but they'll like stick out and be cute.
that would be so cute. Actually, it's a great idea.
Yeah,
I love
thank you.
that. You're really thinking.
I'm on it.
And the other great thing they did this year for the popcorn buckets, I think it was last year too, but you can mobile order the
Saw
popcorn
that.
bucket and pick it up.
Yeah, saw that.
So cool because remember when like the Figment ones first came out and it was like 14-hour lines for Figment popcorn buckets?
Yeah, but I need to talk to somebody about who waited in line for said bucket.
I know. I know. People go crazy over like
I,
random stuff, but people are
I
like Figment stands. So,
You're right. I was actually
yeah.
watching. I don't know if you. It was like the 2020 like 50th anniversary special on Walt Disney World.
No, I didn't see it.
Well, it's on Disney Plus right now, like under the Disney Parks section, and I've just
Okay.
been big into watching ever since our last pod. And I just haven't been to the parks in so long. I've been doing a lot of watching Disney park stuff while I'm sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
And I watched that, and they were talking about Figment and
Yeah.
how they came up with him and how people have really loved him and how one year they sold more Figments in Epcot than they did Mickey Mouse like plushes. And yeah, so it was pretty cool.
Cool.
I'm still not like sold on him, but
I
I'm
know. You're
glad.
like not a fan.
I don't know why I just like can't get
I think
with
you
it.
also, I don't want to pull the age card here, but like you are just a few years younger, like just enough younger that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that you remember like the OG Figment ride where there was like, and then after the ride where they had how there's like interactive Figment
Right.
stuff? There's like, there was like a light tunnel, a rainbow light tunnel you could walk through. There was like,
N-
it was awesome.
I'm sure I did it because like we went to the parks like every year, but no, it's not something I remembered. But also, I wasn't like a parks. I mean, we went to the parks every year, like I just said, but we weren't like I wasn't like a parks lover until older.
Right.
And you know
Well,
what
and I
else?
like, I only barely remember it. So I feel like it was, I should look up the date. I don't know what the date was, but
Well, you
it
also act
was,
like you're like 10 years older than me, and sorry to brush your bubble, but you're not. Just saying. I was also when I was watching that thinking, and this is like insane to me. Like my grandparents who are not like I have very young grandparents,
Yeah.
like they lived a life without a Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
Like Walt Disney World didn't exist for a while.
Yeah.
Like until they were adults.
Yeah. It's pretty young. It's also like pretty old, but also pretty young.
Pretty young when you like really when you think about it in that way.
Yeah. Yeah, like
Like can
what
you
do
imagine
people do
like
for fun?
well seriously, like so much of like my life is revolves around Disney World.
Yeah.
And there was a time, like not very long ago, where there's people living that didn't have a Disney World.
I know. What a depressing time.
It's kind of insane.
It
Well,
is
it is
insane.
anyhow.
We're very lucky, you know?
But okay, but in the same breath, imagine what it's going to be like when Brooks is our age right now, what Disney World is going to have.
Yes.
And he's going to be
It's
like,
insane. And like he won't remember a world. I think about this stuff a lot. Like he won't even know a world where Splash Mountain ever existed, for example.
exactly.
Like he won't even know what that is. He'll be like, "What are you old people talking about?"
Well, seriously,
And like Country Bear, we just got the announcement that that's being like renovated or whatever. That's an opening day park attraction. I know you don't like care about it, but it's you know it.
like to him, like Guardians is going to be like
Old.
our Space Mountain, which
Yeah.
is like old.
Yeah,
What?
like rickety. I love
That's
that.
crazy.
I love it.
We were just talking about, well, we're going to get into planning a trip in our pod right now, but Kyle
Yeah.
and I go, what's going to be his first ride at Disney World? I go, the People Mover?
I that feels right.
But Kyle says, can he ride that? Will he be allowed to ride that? And I was like,
Oh my God.
Yeah, he'll just like sit on his our lap. But he said, don't you think that's gonna be a little fast for him?
Oh my God. Kyle.
So he goes into the dark and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I
I
think
mean,
he'll
that
be
is true. So Kate actually said with her baby that the scariest ride her baby went on was Winnie the Pooh.
I believe it, but like
Just because it's dark. She was like, I never realized how dark it was until I had a kid that was afraid of the dark.
that, but like the Winnie the Pooh ride is a little trippy.
Yeah, it's definitely trippy.
Like, I need to talk to the Imagineer who did that one.
Yeah, like what were you thinking? But also, it's like pretty accurate to Winnie the Pooh. Like, I think Winnie the Pooh just like got a little wackier in its later years
I guess, but like they're
with
making
like,
it seem like he needs to go to rehab.
but yeah, I know it's very like acid trip. But uh, I don't know if you remember from Disneyland or we used to have one, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Yeah, that one's chaos.
It's basically like an alcoholic frog, like on
Also
a
that.
jaunt.
Also that.
Wild. So
Oh man.
we're just, we're moving along with the parks. We're slowly coming into
We're
our own.
um, imagine what Brooks is gonna think. Well, Brooks is probably never gonna remember Winnie the Pooh. That's gonna be gone by the time he's like old.
You think?
I don't know.
Wow.
You don't?
I don't know. It's hard to figure that stuff out. Like what will stand the test of time? Because like the same point could be said about like the Matterhorn. The Matterhorn is iconic, right? Like at
That's
Disneyland. But it's like rickety as
oh,
F.
it's so bad.
Yeah, it's like terrible, but like it's iconic. So
Yeah, but you don't think they'll like straight up just build an entire new coaster in the Matterhorn?
maybe.
But at the same time, that's like the first like metal roller coaster like that has ever
Yeah.
existed or something. So I guess why? Oh, I
Go
don't
Bob
know.
Gurr. Yeah,
So
it'll be interesting to see how things change and evolve over time.
Because the same thing with like, I don't think they'll ever touch It's a Small World.
I don't think so, but also maybe.
Like eventually it's gonna be, I mean, it's already out of date,
Yeah.
but it's like It's a Small World.
And like they can make some updates to that ride, in my opinion, that would be like huge upgrades. For example, I love the glitter in that ride. Like I am the biggest fan of glitter, right?
Yes.
However, one thing we didn't really think through very well when we made that ride is that glitter attaches to dust. It
Yeah.
like is a literal like dust come to me
Yeah.
thing. So all those like big numbers and characters and whatever are all like dust. And you can't dust glitter because then the
Glitter.
glitter comes off. So like should they get rid of the glitter? No, but could they maybe use like foil? I don't know, something else.
Because it like even so like there's no up, like they can't upgrade that ride. Like they can't make it like fancy animatronics, or
Oh, right.
because then it just doesn't hit the same. You might as well just like
Right.
get rid of it.
Right. And they'll definitely never get rid of it.
That's what I'm saying.
So yeah, it's interesting. We'll have to see. We should do like some hot take. That should be an episode where we say like in 20 years what will be missing.
A lot, I think.
Maybe and maybe not. I mean, you also have to remember that like people get rowdy when you take stuff out
I
of the parks.
agree, but okay, the reason we started this conversation is I'm saying that like my there's people in this world who lived a life without Disney World, right?
Right.
So you have Epcot, who is what, 30? No, how old's Epcot now?
I don't know. I think 35.
Something like that. That's not
Yeah.
very old.
No.
And we're like rides have already like come and gone out of there,
Many.
multiple.
Yeah.
So that's in 30 years of being open. So now if we're talking in 20 years,
Yeah.
like, you get what I'm saying?
You're right. You're right. And like there is a famous Walt quote that I'm going to butcher, but it's something about like we should always be in a constant state of progress or
Right,
something.
right.
So I agree with that. And I think it is not that I want to speak for Walt. I hate people that speak for Walt, but like Walt's intention wasn't for us to like live in a time capsule.
Right.
So I see you're right. A lot of things changing. I mean, we just experienced with Epcot something as simple as like the center area. Like we lost a fountain. There are people who are like Twitter warriors for that fountain. Like you could have put in like, I don't know, something that gave out $100 bills and they wouldn't be happy.
Right.
The fountain was everything. And I loved that fountain too. It was actually AJ's favorite part of Epcot. So like I am sad that it's
Well,
gone, but at the same time, it's progress.
or like the big ride, one of the biggest rides that they have gotten rid of, which I think is a wild thing, is Great Movie Ride.
Oh my gosh, I know.
I mean, that is like truly iconic
Yeah.
and is easily something that could have just been like continued to be updated and like
Yes.
gr- grow with time. But they obviously completely got rid of it and put in like Mickey's Runaway Railway. And I remember thinking like this seems odd because it's like so cartoony and such like a and like the Chinese theater just like didn't really fit. But
Yeah.
I mean, anybody who listens to the pod knows that we are Mickey Runaway Railway stands. So
Yes.
I love that. But I guess now that I say that out loud, they could have definitely put that somewhere else.
They could have totally put it somewhere else, especially in World. Land, I understand they're under like space constrictions, but we
Yeah,
got
but
we got
Land
land over
is
here.
in a better place than Worlds because Land is in Toontown. It fits
Oh,
perfectly there.
oh, I didn't even think about that. We didn't ride it when we were there last time because we have it
You-
over here and it was like a long wait. But
Yeah.
you're right. That is super smart.
So like Disney World has plenty of space that they could have built a Toontown, or which they
Yeah,
would.
agree. Well, we had a Toontown.
Well, see, that's something they got rid of.
Yeah, Toontown used to be awesome, especially as
I
like a
know.
small kid. I mean, maybe I'm like making memories up, but I feel like as a small
Mhm.
kid, like being able to go into Mickey's house
It's
was
the
like really
best.
cool. Yeah.
And especially nowadays, because like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is so much more popular than it was like back when we were kids.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a kid that's like watches Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and daily can go into his house?
Yeah. I
Like the
know. It
carpet.
would be amazing. And like
All right,
New Fantasyland is awesome. I'm not knocking New Fantasyland, but like we could have had both.
there's
I don't know. What do I know? I
there
don't know about
isn't
space and engineering.
there's plenty of space.
Yeah, I feel like there's plenty of space.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like Tron, we could have put like New Fantasyland where Tron is, and then put Tron like in Hollywood Studios, maybe.
But even put Toontown in Hollywood Studios, where that like
Well, mm.
makeshift Disney Junior section is.
Oh, that's smart. I do also wonder what they're gonna do over there because I feel like that launch bay area, you know what I'm talking
It's,
about, like where
yeah, it's wasted space.
well it was very important when Galaxy's Edge was being built because
Yeah, but now,
right, but now it's built. So like
so now,
what are they gonna do
like,
there? And that used to be they like crushed so many of our hopes and dreams because that was where like Animation Academy was and that cool stuff. And
yeah,
like
now it's like a building.
yeah, I mean there's meet and greets in there, which is great, but also like those could be in Galaxy's
Anyway,
Edge, right? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I just think that's a wasted space.
What do we know?
Apparently nothing.
I know.
Um, and here we are on another tangent.
I know. Welcome. Welcome to our brains.
Um, one more thing before we really get started. Um, your light up jacket.
My light up jacket. What do you want to know?
I feel like you kind of like said that you ordered a light up jacket and now you've just been like going to the parks in your light up jacket
I
and
know. I know. Basically, I want to be. Do you know that man who's like famous in Disney Springs
I was
for
I was gonna say that's your
wearing
goal.
like yeah, he's like an old guy and he wears like very sparkly stuff and like
Yeah, and
people
dances.
love him. Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like that's gonna be me. People are just gonna like find me and like feel sad for me, but also like be glad that they met me. So it's fine. Our latest little shtick is so there's like a remote that comes with this jacket that like changes the colors and stuff.
Yeah.
And AJ like absolutely has a field day walking next to me, but like he will watch the ball and the ball is like constantly changing and whatever. And he will like change my jacket so that I match the ball like constantly.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
so funny. It's hilarious. And like Epcot also is definitely where people get the drunkest. So
Yeah.
there's like some rowdy people at Epcot. And so many people just walk by me and say like cool jacket or whatever. But there's also people who like scream it from across the world
Yeah.
showcase. Like, so cool. And I'm like, thank you. Like I had a guy, there was literally a server in one of the restaurants in France. And he like Taylor Swift heart hands me
Oh
through the
my god.
glass to outside, like assumedly regarding my jacket. I didn't have
We
anything else
have
to
to,
offer
yeah.
him. So it just was
Amazing.
like, it was pretty funny. But yeah,
Amazing.
we are also, I don't know if I told you this. Well, I told you this, but I don't know if I told the pod this. We're like trying to engineer a way to get the jacket to actually light up in tandem with like glow with the show, the way that the
With,
ears work and the
yeah.
magic bands work. So like if you're at Happily Ever After, the jacket will actually like emulate the fireworks.
And if
So that's
anybody
been
can do it, it's AJ.
I know. And he bought this like machine that I don't know, can like receive signals. And so he's trying to like decode it. It's a whole situation, but he's having fun. I'm having fun. It's fine.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. And my mom loved the jacket so much that I got her one.
That she wears on her golf cart.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So
She's got
she's
to be
like
like
the
the
star.
talk of the villages.
She is literally the talk of, I mean, she already is the talk of the villages, but yeah, she's
My
loving it.
I have an aunt who, like my grandmother's sister, that
Yeah.
they're thinking about moving to the villages.
Oh my gosh. Well, like, tell them I'll give them the grand tour.
I was bragging all about. I was like, my best friend's mom lives there. They go on the golf cart for Christmas lights. Yeah,
Yes.
amazing.
It's really cool. It's like a wild thing to even understand because it's so big. It's like four exits off the highway and growing, like
Yeah,
four
I didn't
separate
really
exits,
realize. I guess I thought the villages was like a small little community, but it's no, it's like a
like a
full
village.
blown, yeah, like a village. Like it's a full blown like town. And actually, my when I coached cheer, our athletic trainer, she used to work at a school at the villages.
I knew that actually. I think you told me that before.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
I mean, there are multiple zip codes within the villages. Like it's
yeah, to
big.
me it was a small little neighborhood.
No, it's hundreds of neighborhoods, literal
Yeah.
hundreds. And like just everything. It's a wild place. It's a truly
So
wild place. We'll have to do an episode on the villages someday because
I'd
I
like a
think it's like doing college again.
that's
Like
actually kind
that's
of awesome.
yeah, it's great. They're wild, wild people. There's like live music every night on the square and 2 for 1 drinks. So
Oh my
like people are getting rowdy. They have a club for everything. So there are like villages cheerleaders that still like cheerlead. There's like flag team. There's drill team like on horses where you like make it's like synchronized swimming. They do
okay,
that
yeah.
on the golf carts.
Oh my
So they'll make
God.
like patterns with the golf carts and
Wait,
just like anything you could ever want to
that's
do.
amazing.
Yeah, it's that place is like they have everything. I um they have like a lifelong learning college and you can sign up for classes. My mom and I take classes all year round. Most recently, I think I mentioned I took a class from the lead chocolatier at the
Yeah,
Contemporary Resort. Like cool stuff. I don't know. Just like neat to
yeah.
find out. Like a Mexican cooking class from a woman who like was from Mexico and like she brought in authentic ingredients and just like always something neat. So
Very, very cool.
yeah. Any hoodle.
All right. Should we do this?
Let's do this. We want to disclaimer today's episode by saying we feel like we might have already done this one, but also I did look through the archives and I couldn't find anything specific. We've done some that are like our tips for like packing, like things you should bring, or like tips for in the parks, like, free water and
Oh,
stuff like that. But I don't think that we've ever done one that's truly like an in-depth planning episode.
okay. So we need to like skip over things that we've talked about.
Yeah, right. Good luck.
Okay. Well,
We're
I
gonna
also
try.
feel like I can completely relate to this right now because we really are like planning a trip and it will almost be like a year since we have been by the time we go. So,
Yeah. Well, I like you said before, you're coming under like a totally different lens because you have a baby
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And you're considering DVC for the first time, like
Oh my God.
truly. And then so
Kyle's
there's
like
so
really
many
on board.
what?
Kyle's like really on board to the
He
DBC
did
right
agree in your vows. So
kind of. But yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's coming and I feel like it makes sense to him. He is a very budget minded man. So,
Well, the other like it was last night. We were on the couch and he's like, "So where are we staying in May?" And I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Since when do you care?" And he said, we're staying at Caribbean Beach." And so he like look, I changed hotels.
yeah,
And
what?
yeah, and so he like looked it up and he's like, "Oh, nice, a running trail, so I can do my run still." And I was like, "Why are you looking all this up?" And he was like, "Well, I mean, we're going to be like DVC members soon, so like I need to be in the know." And I was like, "Well, that's not a DVC resort."
Wow.
I know.
Maybe maybe I would suggest that you stay at like I know you've done it before, but like Riviera or something so that he gets once you get a taste, it's hard to go back.
I know. We're staying at Caribbean Beach. One, it's So we changed our trip dates a little bit because now just like by a couple days. So we were going to go during the week, and now we're going over a weekend.
Okay.
So we can, so Ashton, Patrick, and the kids can join us too.
Okay.
So um, we were staying at Bay Lake, and it is not, it's expensive either way, but it's cheaper during the week than over a
Of
weekend.
course.
So I switched to Caribbean Beach, and a little tidbit on Caribbean Beach if you're staying there. If you can spend more money on a room that's closer to like the main hub of the resort, like
Yeah.
the food and all of that. But if you get a standard room that's cheaper, they put you way in the back, except for
Yeah.
that in walking distance to the Riviera and the Riviera Skyliner. So I would take a standard room that's cheaper at Caribbean Beach, and you can actually quick service and go eat at Riviera.
I like your thought process, but I also Caribbean Beach is like a monster of a resort, meaning that it's
Yeah,
like very spread out. It's huge. It's
yeah,
so there are like different islands, so you can be on like Aruba, whatever. And they're like all over. I mean, so spread out. Like it's got to be a mile walk from the main building to the Skyliner. It's
it is.
far.
That's why I'm like, that's not a really big plus.
Well, but it's just as far to Riviera. I mean, they do share a parking lot, so it's like connected.
Not
That's
if
a
you're
little
in one of
secret
those
fact.
back
But
buildings, which I
yeah,
think
but
is Aruba.
you are gonna hope. So if you're like facing Port Royale or whatever the main building is called, if you're facing it, I believe there are equivalent number of buildings on the left and the right. And if you go to the right, that's towards Riviera. And if
Right.
you go to the left, that's towards the Skyliner, the Caribbean Beach Skyliner entrance. So it's like Skyliner, main building for Caribbean Beach, Riviera. So I don't, unless you know something I don't know, I don't think you can like specify which
No,
island
we've
cluster
just
you want to
gotten
be
lucky.
in.
And I will say we're renting a car, so worst comes to worst, we have a rental. So
Renting a car is like a lifesaver, I think, at resorts like that. I think
yeah,
Caribbean Beach, Riverside, and French Quarter, all of them are pretty spread out, like
absolutely.
monsters. Even Coronado's spread out too, but I don't know why I like give that one a pass because of the tower, maybe.
Because they have the tower now.
Yeah.
But the tower,
Um,
if you stay in the tower, then you might as well stay in a deluxe.
because of the price, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So
There's so much, there are so many elements to consider just when you're picking your resort. Like even when you've decided which resort, like you've already figured out if you're doing DVC or not DVC, if you're staying on property or off property, if you're staying moderate, deluxe, or value, like all the things. And there still are so many logistical pieces to figure out.
correct. Well, so we were originally at Bay Lake because I was like, okay, I'm just gonna splurge. We'll be able to walk to Magic Kingdom. We can monorail to Epcot. It's gonna be so much easier when we have a stroller. I am no judgment here, but I can't do the buses anymore. It like gives me
No, I
anxiety.
can't either.
So I'm not really here for buses. And then Kyle had said we're renting a car, and we rent a car pretty much most trips, and
Sure.
you can get real cheap rent a cars. It like
Yes.
we we don't stay for a week. We always stay for like maybe 3 nights, and I think our rental car is like maybe $200 to
Yeah.
us. That's worth it. So
Yeah.
when he said we were going to rent a car, and then we were looking at the price difference when we were going to stay at Bay Lake over the weekend, and I was like, if we already have a rent a car, then like, what does it matter about me wanting to walk to Magic Kingdom or be able to take the monorail, yada yada yada. So
Right.
we're gonna save money and just stay at Caribbean Beach.
I think that's great. It's probably thousands of dollars difference.
It was crazy. I mean, I will
Yeah.
say like, but then when I was really like doing the math, I was like, this goes into our topic today was dang how much cheaper it was going to be to stay during the week rather than over a weekend. Because we were
Yes.
originally going like a Tuesday to a Friday, and
Yeah.
now we're going a Thursday to a Monday. And I mean, it was like
That's
almost double the
yeah,
like
and it's more expensive on your flights. It's more expensive for everything.
yeah. So if you can
And the
like,
crowds.
I know. So
Yep.
if you can get around it and stay during the week, there's tip number one.
Yeah, love that. Stay during the week.
Yeah. Any
Also, you mentioned renting a car. We just learned this recently. I mean, we're lucky. My husband works for like a national corporate. He works for the New York Times. So, because they're like a big company, they offer a lot of perks, but one of the
oh
ones they offer is like cheaper rental cars.
yeah. Hmm.
So, like when we went to Canada, I think we paid $150 for the week for our rental car. It was
So
stupid.
cheap.
Like
So cheap.
cheaper than an Uber to the hotel.
And also make sure if you're like renting a car, like check your own car insurance because a lot of the
Yes.
time you can use your car insurance and you don't have to pay an arm and a leg for theirs.
Same
And
with credit card. Like we have a Chase Sapphire or something,
yeah,
and part of its perks are that it like automatically applies rental car coverage.
yeah. So definitely
So
like
you're
check
great
that
tip.
because that's where they get you is
Yes, 100%. That is where they get you.
yeah, and fill your own gas tank.
Don't be a Dumbo. Especially because I don't know about other places, but here there are like notorious gas stations that are close to the airport that charge like $8 a gallon.
That, but also especially if you're going to Disney World and you're probably just staying on property, there's no chance you're going to go through a full gas tank. So
Right.
you have to pay for the full tank of gas, even if you're not going to use it. And yeah,
Right. Agree. Also, speaking of renting a car, I think people don't quite, unless you come here or even live here, like people don't quite comprehend how big Walt Disney World is. Like massive.
yes,
So, like just yesterday, my husband went to Magic Kingdom after work. What is he thinking?
what?
Without me to meet up with some friends.
What?
And I know, I was very proud. But he went in Magic Kingdom and then waited over an hour for them to bus from Animal Kingdom to Magic Kingdom.
Yeah,
Over an hour. And that wasn't like because the bus broke down or something. It just was like, that's how it goes. They're far apart.
they're far apart, and if the buses are full like back to back, then you're
Yeah, if the
waiting
buses are full back to back, all the things. And like, wouldn't you rather have your own car? Especially, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that Disney waived the parking prices again for resorts, not for parks, but for resorts.
for resorts. I believe that is true. Yes,
So like, if it doesn't cost you any money to have a car, besides the
but
rental of the car itself,
I guess if you don't have an annual pass, it would. Does it cost you to park at the park? I know it costs you to park at the parks, but does that waive if you're staying on property too?
I think so. I don't that I don't know about, but I think so. I know it's waived if you have an annual pass for sure.
Same. That's why I've
But
never really done because I've always had an annual pass.
right. It's just like such a, I mean, and even then, like the parking lots are monstrous. So it is like still a time commitment. Like you need to give yourself, I would say, 45 minutes from
Yeah,
when you park your car at Magic Kingdom to when you expect to walk into Magic Kingdom.
especially Magic Kingdom. Yeah,
Right. Because it's like literally over, I think they say it's like miles, several miles between the parking lot and the park
I know
because
it's
there's like
insane.
water in between.
Yeah, literally
So yeah, just like know what you're getting into, um, and what works best for you.
for sure. Pros and cons.
Pros and cons.
Okay.
Um, I did like a little comparison of a couple of resorts just to give some information.
Okay.
Um, I just checked like 9 to 9:15 for like two adults and one child. And at All Star Music, so that's obviously like the cheapest option on property or the All
Yep.
Stars, $134 a night.
Okay.
So that to me is like very doable.
I think so.
Um,
Absolutely, yeah.
just with if you're expecting to stay in a hotel, hotels cost that much these days. I don't know anywhere really where you can get like under $100 a night. I mean,
I yeah.
I just don't. Okay, so that's 134. If you want to stay at a Marriott at like a Fairfield Inn, it's 118. So you save a little bit of money, but then you have to like commute, whatever. To me, that's like not worth it. If you want to stay at a Residence Inn in Flamingo Crossing, it's 142 a night. So it's like $5 more than staying at Disney itself. However, that's for a one bedroom suite.
Oh, wow, that's a good price.
Yeah, and like Flamingo Crossing is touching Disney property. Like
Yeah.
it's hard to explain to people, but it's right there. So, and there's so much. Flamingo Crossing is this newly developed area that has tons of like food options and grocery. Like there's a Target there, and like it's super clean and
Yeah,
modern and like nice. So, to me, that's like I would rather stay in a one bedroom, put my kid in the on the
absolutely.
couch and like have my own room
Yeah.
for the same price. Um, you also have to consider like which places include free breakfast. Because to me, free breakfast, I mean, unless it's like continental, free breakfast is like well worth it.
Yes.
Like a
I was
huge,
gonna say
I mean,
also, I think if you're going to be weighing if you're staying on property or off, I think you need to weigh like what kind of park person you think you're gonna be. If you're gonna be there,
yes,
like if you're planning on doing 12-hour days in the parks, then one, spend less on your hotel, but also go stay off property because it's not like you want to go back and forth to your like resort.
right,
But if you're planning on being like I'm going to go to the parks in the morning, go take a nap, and then go back out, then it might be worth it for you to be staying on property and closer by, or
right,
also worth like splurging a little bit on your resort to have a nicer pool or nicer like accommodations there.
right, right. Like if you're gonna spend downtime at the resorts or like in the area, then you don't want to stay in like a Fleabag Motel, which there
Right.
are, I mean, they exist, but like there's plenty of nice options on and off property that you can get by just fine. But,
Absolutely.
and also, again, like back to how spread out things are, like if you are a Magic Kingdom gal and you are going to spend most of your days at Magic Kingdom, then like staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge
It's
is
not
dumb compared to
for
staying off property.
yes,
Like,
absolutely.
just I mean, I would tell anybody to stay there. I think it's the best value for points, especially for DVC. Because there's like animals, like it's built-in
Yeah,
entertainment,
right.
but it's far.
But
You're
also if
really
you're spending like open and close in the parks every day and you're not going to enjoy waking up to seeing animals out your
right,
window, it's also
right,
probably not of value to you.
right.
Yeah,
And then you also have to figure out like food. For example, are you going to do free breakfast? Are you a person that, because you have a baby, for example, is going to need to make like a Target run? Or are you
right,
going to do delivery like Instacart or something? Which both are options. But do you want the option to like go to, a pizza place at night that doesn't cost $56 per slice?
right.
Like, because your kids just want to eat. They don't care that it's via Napoli pizza. They just like want to eat
Want
pizza.
pizza? Yeah, yeah.
Like those are all things to consider. I also am like a huge uh proponent of checking resort fees. So
They'll get you.
yeah, I don't think Disney has them or they're like built in or something, but like the Disney Springs resorts
I was
are,
just gonna say
oh my God, wild, wild.
the Hilton, like Buena Vista one, which I really like that hotel. They have like a
Yeah,
lazy river. Their resort fees are next level. Like you think you're getting a deal and then you check out and you're like, what the
yeah.
crap?
And it's not always, like you said, it's not always built into the price you pay up front.
Right.
So that's like I just can't. And before we lived here, I remember we planned a trip and we were like super on a budget and whatever, and we were going to stay at a Disney Springs resort. And we ended up staying at Pop Century instead. It was cheaper with the
Yeah.
resort fees and all the other stuff that adds in. Plus, you're like, they do have buses, like shuttles to the parks, but it's like not the same. And like, it's
No,
just
and
a different experience.
they're on like certain times or something,
Right.
or yeah, yeah,
Which, like, if you have a car, that doesn't matter. But
right.
then you're paying to park your car.
Which is usually like at like $30 a day
Yep.
minimum.
Yep. Like it is
Crazy.
not cheap.
No.
So it's all worth considering. Like I looked up actually the LBV Palace, the one you're talking about,
Yeah.
and it was 159 a night compared to All Star Music, which was 134. So and that's before resort fees and everything else. So you're like paying more to stay at an off-property resort or like a
Yeah.
non-Disney branded resort. I just
But once you add in the resort fees, like it's crazy. I
yeah,
I
it's
haven't stayed there since like a while now because last time we got hit with like the craziest resort fees and I was like,
and it's like too late. It doesn't hit you until you're literally like checked in. So you're like,
yeah,
oh, okay, there goes my budget for snacks.
right.
Like,
I would much rather stay on property.
yeah. Then you have to consider, especially now, the new and upgraded or downgraded perks for staying on property. So, like, no longer do you get the Magical Express,
I know.
which is a
That's
bummer.
very
No longer do you get extra magic hours unless you're staying at a deluxe
and only on certain days.
and only on certain days. So you just have to be like very mindful. It used to be, to me, a no-brainer because like an Uber to Amco from the parks is like $50.
Right.
So one way. So $100 round trip minimum. If you have a kid and you need a car seat and all that stuff, it's even
Whole
more
thing.
expensive.
Right.
Like that's a good value. And if you can get into the parks when they're less crowded in the
Yep.
morning or in the evening, that's a huge perk. But like you don't get those anymore. So
Remember when extra magic hours used to be like
magic.
10 or 1 a.m.?
Yes.
God. I
I
know we've
know.
said
I
that
know.
before. I know we've said that before, but those were the days.
Those were the days. No, things used to be so different. It's a new Disney now and we still love it and it's still magic, but it's definitely uh something to get used to.
Yeah, I still just like reminisce on those days.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah. Anyways,
Um okay, I will say that you also if you don't rent a car but you're staying like locally but off property, like in the Disney Springs area or the Flamingo Crossings area, Ubers are pretty affordable. So think about that and factor it into your trip planning. Maybe you don't want to wait in line and also wait until every hour on the hour to get to the park, on
yeah,
their schedule. Also, the non-Disney buses for like Magic Kingdom, for example, they park at the TTC just like the rest of us. Whereas the Disney buses get to go to the front, like to the park. So
yes.
you might as well just Uber and to me. And like I know it's gonna
I'm
cost a few more dollars, but
a big Uber fan.
yeah, big Uber fan. And things are so close together. It's not, I mean, unless you're doing like peak time, blah blah blah.
Right.
You can Uber from here to there for like $10. So
Exactly.
it's to me, it's like worth the time saver, worth the
It's just hard.
crowd germ.
Absolutely. But now that like we have a kid, we would need the car seat, which is a whole
Right. Changes your plan.
yeah.
How do you do a car seat with a rental car?
Well, so this has been like a whole ordeal because we're going to travel with the car seat.
Oh, because
We
he has to sit in the car seat on the plane.
No, he sits on our lap on the plane because he's still like a lap
Okay.
child because we're not going to pay for his seat.
Okay.
But we're not going to bring like he has a very nice car seat right now that's in my car, and I don't trust like the airline to take care
Yep.
of his really nice car seat. So Kyle doesn't have a car seat in his car. He doesn't even have the base because we just never take his car, and it wasn't worth like to buy an extra base for the car seat was like $200 to put in his car, which
Oh,
is crazy. And we
yeah.
know everything. So they make car seats that are like transition car seats that he can use right now as an infant and then grow into as a toddler. So
Yeah.
we're gonna buy a decently priced one. They like a cheap one to keep in Kyle's car, and that's gonna become our travel
Travel.
car seat. And we'll get
Smart.
like a little bag for it and take it with us. Well, we'll get like a nicer car seat to put in my car because that's just the car we take
Yeah.
all the time.
Okay.
So
So you're just gonna travel with it, but then you like check it at the gate, I assume.
so you can, well, you can like check it like at baggage claim.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So that's kind of our plan. I know some people, I think you can like gate check, or you can like gate check your stroller and stuff.
Yeah. Turns on if you're gonna use it probably like up to the last second.
Right. But we're not going to like lug around the car seat if we can pass it off.
Yeah, agree. Okay,
And
so you'll have it with you. That's like one
yeah,
less thing to worry about.
yeah, that's our plan at least.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
The speaking of that philosophy, I think this is just like a general travel tip that we all forget sometimes. And that is that there are stores everywhere. Like if you get down here and something like God forbid you don't bring the car seat and because you don't buy one into I don't know, whatever happens, like
Yeah.
it sucks that you're gonna have to buy one, totally, but like you could buy one. You're not gonna have to like carry him around the whole time. Like you could figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and like Amazon ships everywhere.
Well,
So it's
in that area, you can like buy on Amazon and have it delivered same day.
yeah, yeah, we love that perk.
We don't have that app here.
Yeah, we that's the best. I love same day delivery. I just got lemongrass delivered, same day delivery. It's the
Oh my
best.
God.
I know. Um, okay, let me see what else I wrote down. Oh, is this like become a very controversial topic for me recently,
Okay.
but the dining plan.
Oh, yeah. I was talking to somebody about this recently too.
So the dining plan is officially back at Walt Disney World, which
Yep.
people are like elated about, especially because the same day that the dining plan was reannounced, free dining was also announced.
For like in the summer months or something.
Yeah, like for some limited period of time, but like
Yeah.
you can get the basically the explanation is you can get please pardon my dog is about to come back in the house with my husband and they're very loud. Um you can get the free dining plan and like that covers depending on your resort level, you get like different perks.
Yes. Yes.
However, I just learned literally yesterday that if you get a room that it has the free dining plan, you pay, I don't know why I didn't think of this, but like you pay full price for the room.
Correct.
There's no deal on the room. You are
Because
paying
that's your
full price. Right, because that's your deal. And that's great. I think that there are plenty of people, myself included, who have done the dining plan before and have planned out every penny to make like the maximum value for the dining plan. And you can
yeah.
do that, but it's a lot of work.
So I think the dining plan sounds like a great option. And
Yeah.
just like you, like, yes, I've done the dining plan before. However, I think this is another thing that you have to weigh out before you're going on your trip is, are you going to do a sit down dining every single day of your trip?
Every day, every meal, sometimes.
Depending on the dining plan that you choose, because some of them are
Right.
like quick service, one table service, one snack.
Right.
But are you going to do a sit down dining every day of your trip? Because for me, we do not do a sit down dining every single day. And if you're going to do a sit down dining, are you doing a nicer one?
Right. One that costs enough to make it
Enough
worth it.
to make it worth it.
Yep.
We just don't. And I just remember when I did the dining plan before having so many like snack credits left, like the last day where you were going to just buy just the random stuff so that you use your
Yeah.
snack credits. But also like your snack credit is you can use your snack credit like a bottle of water. That's silly.
Yeah. Or you can use it on like food and wine,
Right. So you have to like
which is
really
great.
kind of plan it out and think about it. But for us, the dining plan has never felt worth it.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing that was just brought to my attention is like, again, like, why do I live under a rock? Why am I stupid about this? But if you are putting like 5 people in a room, then the dining
Oh,
plan is baller, like the free dining plan, because you get free dining for 5 people.
that's true.
But
If you're
like
doing
for
the
you and
free
I,
dining.
it's 2 people, 3 people.
Wow, I never really thought about that.
Yeah. So like the room price is kind of irrelevant. I mean, you could save 20% on the room price, but if you can feed 5 people at Ohana, then like
Shit.
that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it just depends on like how you travel and how big your party is and what you're thinking and all that stuff.
Interesting. Whoa.
Yeah, I know, right? I was like, my mind was like spinning yesterday when I was processing all this information.
What a concept.
I know. What a concept.
Huh.
So the dining plan, good idea, but also bad idea. I don't know. It like limits you. Like you said, also, if you're gonna have a table service meal every day, you're not losing, but you're losing like at least 2 hours.
At the parks.
Yeah, like by sitting at a meal.
And,
And that can be a delight if it's like 100 degrees out and you want to go sit inside for 2 hours and cool down, whatever. But also, like, buy time.
and if you're going to make it worth it, then you need to have your dining reservations planned in advance.
Yes. So, dining plan, I think it's still 60 days out, I think,
I believe so, yes.
which I think, again, that's another perk for staying on property. You can book earlier than other people if you are staying on property, if you have like a resort reservation. So
Okay.
that's helpful if you have if you're like dying for Cinderella Royal Table or
Right.
something that's like hard to get, then that is a huge perk.
Right.
But
Where for us, you included, we're very like, we'll refresh the app until we find something we want.
right, yeah, I'll like play it by ear. I mean, I'm very lucky in that I get to go all the time. So like if I don't get to go to Via Napoli tonight, I'll go next week. Like I don't,
Right.
it's fine. But if it's your one and only trip and like your daughter is of the perfect age to eat with the princesses and like that's what you want to do, then like I
Yes,
get it. That's totally acceptable.
absolutely.
But like you also need to
But
man
plan
up
that.
and like plan up. Yeah.
Also, we probably
So
should have started this by our number one tip for planning trips is to get a Disney vacation planner.
I was saving it till the end, but yeah,
Oh,
that is like
sorry.
no, whatever, it's fine. That is also to me the number one tip about going to at least Walt Disney World. I have not used one for Disneyland, but I think the rules are different because also like staying on property is so expensive over there. It's just like a different animal.
Yeah.
But for Walt Disney World, I think that a lot of people don't understand, but if you use a travel agent to book your Disney trip, you've already paid for them either way. If the room
Correct.
is $189, it's $189 on Disney's website and it's $189 through your travel agent. There's no hidden fee. I mean, some planners do charge like an additional fee for premium services or whatever, and they tell you that up front. But
Yes.
as far as the majority of travel agents, you're paying the same rate because Disney has to pay for somebody to sit in a call center and talk to you about planning your trip if you book it yourself. And they have to
Right.
pay for somebody to help you plan your dining reservations and they have to pay like all the things, right? So it already
So
costs them money.
the commission is already in it.
The commission is in. So might as well put it to good use. Also, I consider that like a version of shopping small or like buying
Absolutely.
local. Like you're supporting a small business. You're supporting a singular human who's going to do everything if you pick a good one, who's going to do everything they can to give you the vacation of a lifetime. And a lot of
Correct.
those perks include like I think this is what sparks the idea in your mind, like planning dining, uh,
Yes.
a travel agent will call and do that for you. A
at
good
6
one.
a.m. or whatever time that the it opens.
Yeah, like the window opens at like 6 a.m., 60 days out in advance. And like
Right.
a good travel agent will sit there and know, first of all, I would assume that a good travel agent would pre-provide you with suggestions, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you have a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old. They love their favorite characters are Rapunzel and Snow White. Then we're going to suggest these particular character breakfasts that include those characters. We're going to
Yes.
plan your trip around, like so that you can go from here to there and it makes sense, all that stuff. And you have kind of like game planned before the 60 days in advance, and they're going to go in and like execute that for you.
Yep.
I just like, why would you not do that?
Who wants to wake up at 6 a.m. to make a dining reservation?
Yeah. Like, who
Exactly.
wants to do that?
Not
And they don't get paid extra to do that. That's just like
no.
them being courteous to you. So
Correct.
I think that's cool. I know that a lot of Disney travel agents offer their own different unique perks depending on who they are. I know some will like, I don't know, give you a Disney gift card as like
Right.
a rebate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some will do a gift basket. That was actually the whole premise of my old company is I worked with travel agents to do gift baskets for their clients so that when
Mhm.
you arrived at Disney, you received like a little piece of magic in your room before you even started.
Talk about
Um,
magic.
yeah, I mean, and it's so funny. I think about this more and more as the more we travel, but like the value to me of like a free bottle of water in my room is, I don't know, worth like $20.
I agree.
Like, I'm just thirsty. I don't want to drink out of the tap. I want a clean bottle of water. Is
Yep.
not so much to ask. I don't want to slough down to the lobby again or further to have to get it. I just like want it and I want it now.
Yep. I
So
agree.
it's a small thing for all those travel agents out there listening. It's a small thing that you can do that makes a big difference.
For sure.
What else do travel agents do? I'm trying to think. They
What?
oh, a great
What?
thing that they do is many of them, not all of them, but find a travel agent that will monitor your rate and your
Yeah.
package. So if you book, and let's say you spent $1,000 on your trip, and you're staying at All Star Movies, and you have like a 4-day park hopper, then the free dining plan comes out. They will automatically upgrade
Uh,
you to that
yeah.
offer, apply it to your package, or if like if a deal comes out where you can save money, they'll like automatically refund you the amount.
Just happened for us for our trip.
Yeah,
Yeah. Our
it's like magical.
like texted us the other morning and was like, "Hey, a promo came out. It just saved you $300." And I was like, "Thanks."
Yeah, like that is so good because it's hard to sit there and watch every day and know all the
Yeah.
stuff, what the deal is, whatever, but it's their job. So,
So take advantage of it.
yeah, take advantage of it. I love that. Um la la la. Oh, I also, if you don't use a travel agent or if you're just like a psycho and want to monitor yourself, like Kate, our friend Kate, I know uses a travel agent, but also just like is neurotic and very good at planning. You can set up a Google alert for
Oh,
like Walt Disney World hotel deal, for example, or like whatever keywords you think are the best. And
yeah.
then you'll just get like a little push notification anytime news is published that relates to
Oh,
that. So you can just like hop on and make sure you're getting the best deal. Or you can just like hop on the Disney website once a day and like refresh. It's not
well,
that
that's
hard.
the other thing about using just because you're using a Disney travel agent doesn't mean that you can't also plan your trip. Like a lot of Disney travel agents, they'll do as much or as little as you want them to. So if you still want to
Yes.
be like super hands-on, then you can sure you want to book your dining reservations, go right ahead. It's not like
Yep.
they have to do that, but they're just there to assist and they'll do whatever um you want them to. Most.
Yeah, most. Wait, that's a big disclaimer about travel agents because the other side of that is that pretty much anyone can like hang up a shingle and be like, I am a Disney travel agent. The requirements are pretty low.
Right.
Um, and that's a good thing and a bad thing, right? You shouldn't have to like be a superhero to plan them, but at the same time, you should kind of know something about what you're talking about.
I would hope. Right.
So do a little research. Hopefully, in upcoming episodes, we'll have some quote unquote good or great travel agents
Yeah.
on so that you can at least get started with somebody good if you don't have somebody in mind yourself.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, they're not all great. And some of them are truly awful. Like I've heard people who have like lost all their money because their travel agent pretended to like put their deposit down, but actually just like kept the deposit and then like disappeared.
What?
Yeah, like it's like a scam.
Good Lord.
So, yeah, you need to like do a little bit of research into your travel agent. Make sure they have like a website, for example, and like a
Yeah.
backing agency. Like you can't
Yeah.
just be an independent. I mean, I guess you can if you want to spend all the money on an IATA or a CLIA number and all the things that come with it. But like most people aren't like an independent Disney travel agent with no affiliation to any
Right.
larger company.
Correct.
So just like watch your back. Here's one that you can talk about because I don't understand it at all and I actually hate it with a passion,
Oh
but it
boy.
is very important to planning. Genie Plus.
I mean, I can't really talk a whole lot about it, but
Well, like you have to get up when? At like 7?
last I knew, you have to get up at like 7 a.m. to
Yeah.
book your Genie Plus first reservation
For the
and
day. You can only
for
plan
the
one day at a time.
one day at a time, and you can only plan every 2 hours,
Yeah.
basically. I know that we've done an episode on this before, and I'm
Yeah.
definitely not an expert on this, but from my understanding, you book your first reservation, and then within 2 hours, or if you rode your first reservation, you can make your next Genie Plus, so on and so forth throughout the day.
So you cannot plan your whole day in advance. You cannot
No,
even plan your whole day in the morning.
no,
You have to kind of still be dynamic, which I personally hate because it requires you to be on your phone all day.
correct. Like the
Um,
best way to do it is to make your reservation and set an alarm for 2 hours so that you know to go back and do
yes,
it and again and again and again.
yes.
Yeah.
Another thing I found recently, I think I told you about it. There's a thing called Standby Skipper.
No.
It is an app that I'm sure will be shut down by Disney soon. But for now, it's a really awesome app. You pay by the day and you basically pre-submit your requests for the day for like reservations. Like we would like to
Yeah.
ride Pirates in the morning and Peter Pan in the afternoon and whatever. And you somehow like link your Disney, my Disney Experience account to theirs, and
Yeah.
they book all your stuff for you.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I think it's like a great concept. It seemed a little pricey to me, to be fair. Like
Well,
they haven't sponsored me. I don't know anything about it, so I could be misspeaking, but just in general, it seems like a good option. If like a better option for me, I'd rather pay the extra $30 for the day and have somebody
yeah.
else do it.
I think there's some travel agents that will even do your Genie Plus for you.
That would be amazing.
I don't know if that's, I think maybe they'll get up and make your first reservation, but also sometimes you can't unless you're on property. I might be
Right.
making this up.
Yeah, it's something worth looking into. I mean, and Genie Plus, I just learned this too, is dynamically priced. So it might be
Yes,
$25 today and $45 tomorrow
correct.
per person per day.
Yeah. And you have to buy it day of.
You have to buy a day of. So uh in some cases, in my opinion, it's worth it. So when we went to Disneyland last time, we did it one day only in California Adventure. For me, I found that it was a waste in
Oh yeah, but that's because
Disneyland. They don't, a lot of their rides don't have literally the capacity to have like a fast pass lane.
right.
So, and a lot of the things I wanted to ride in like
We're
Fantasyland, a lot of the old stuff, doesn't, you
yeah,
can't use
yeah.
it. So, but if you're like a roller coaster person and like a big ticket ride person, then it is
Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
helpful.
my
Yeah.
kid's
Your kid's awake?
like screaming his head off.
Kyle,
I know. What is his dad doing?
doesn't he have the monitor?
He should.
Oh my gosh, man.
Oh, here he comes.
Run, 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 run. Does he have it or do we have to cut it short?
I mean, we probably should start wrapping this up, but yeah,
Okay, great. Um, Let me
he's
just
awake.
say some other quick things. Um, Understand the seasons and the crowds. So you never know.
Yeah,
Like you just said, midweek is a great tip. Right now, like beginning of January, post marathon, great time
the
to
best.
be here.
And the weather's
Um,
great.
and the weather's great. Yeah. And crowds are great, the whole thing. Um, Consider this is a controversial one too, but I am like a stan for no park hoppers. Um, Obviously I have an annual pass, so I can do whatever I want, but to me, paying the extra, it's like $50+
I
per
know.
day for the
So
luxury of sitting on a bus to haul your butt from here to there.
we are currently going through that right now because we have to buy park tickets. Although I think we're gonna get annual passes because I'm trying to like map out our trips for a year, and it would be of value to have annual passes. But um, whether we do a park hopper or not is of conversation because I feel like I'm gonna say yes, I want a park hopper, and then we're gonna get there and we're not gonna use it.
I just like why it doesn't I my brain does not compute why you would want to go to Animal Kingdom in the morning and Magic Kingdom at night so that tomorrow you could go to Magic Kingdom in the morning and Animal Kingdom at night.
Okay, well, if you say it like that, but
Well,
for us, like
that's
I
what
think
you're doing.
no, I know, but I think we're only doing 3 park days. So do we want to do all of the parks or not? Because if you're only going for 3 days,
Oh.
then I have to cancel out a park.
Well,
Where
I don't know if they still do it, but last time I had to buy, it was many moons ago. Last time I had to buy like a day of park ticket. You could actually go up at any point and upgrade your ticket to a park hopper. So wait
see,
until your last day and
you have to
then
wait until your
upgrade it.
last day.
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
that to me
well,
just like makes more sense.
yeah.
Um, I would say consider beyond the parks, Disney Springs, your resort pool. Um, all the many things that there are to offer. I mean, you could spend days on Disney property without stepping foot in a park. And I mean, I still see new stuff that I've never seen before.
But that's where
Um,
I think you need to, if you're planning on doing that and spending a lot of time at your resort, then I would probably splurge a little on your resort versus staying like somewhere cheaper.
I agree and I don't agree. So, like, yes, definitely agree, especially if you're like a room person. Like, I love a midday nap. So, to me,
Right.
like a clean, nice bed, I'm in for it. I will
Yeah.
pay extra for that luxury. But like if I had a kid, even if I'm myself and I am staying at a Disney resort and having like a pool day, I would almost, I mean, like the beach club wins all the time, but I almost would like book Art of Animation. They play music underwater in the pool.
I know art of animation has great pools though,
Great pools. They have a splash pad. You
and they
can
have
walk to
multiple
Pop
pools.
Century. Like,
Yes,
just to me, that's like a cheaper option, but like a good value.
for sure.
Also, Disney has this whole collection called Enchanting Extras that you and I love. It's like definitely costs money, but different things you can do. So like golf, you can there's like
I,
at least one, two, three, four, I think four golf courses on property.
yeah, there's a lot.
So you can do golf. They have that thing we were just talking about that's like soccer golf
Yes, you sent me
that you
that
can
the other
play.
day.
Yep. Um, what else? They have tours. Tours
But
are
there's also
expensive.
like free things at certain resorts, like the campgrounds. You can do the campfire sing along thing.
Yes. Yes. Campfire sing along. Um, what else? Like the electrical water pageant or
Yep.
whatever. If you're at a resort by Magic Kingdom,
Yep.
that's free. Um, they have a lot of, if you check in with like the recreation team at your resort, they offer like a daily or a weekly calendar. So they'll do like a movie under the
Movie night.
stars, a different one
Yep.
every night. You can pay like a small fee and get marshmallows and stuff and do like s'mores roasting. Um, what else? I know at Animal Kingdom Lodge, you can do like a nighttime safari
Yeah.
on
That's
on their own private savannah.
so cool.
Um, so there's all that kind of stuff. Also, if you're only coming, you know, once or you want to like really dive into Disney, you can do a behind the scenes tour. You
Yes.
can like we love at Animal Kingdom eating on the savannah. I know that's like a crazy thought, but also like you're literally dining in the middle of the Ankoli cattle. They like can come up to you. It's like a
Insane.
beautiful meal. It's a whole experience that nobody else has except you.
Right.
So
Everyone.
love that. What else? Oh, this is my well, I have two more. Know your niche and then find some internet friends. So
Yeah.
like if you are KG and you're coming by yourself, find the Disney Day Drinkers group. You know, you definitely can find people to meet up with. You can find secret menus, secret drink menus that like you can't find on the app or whatever. Um, just like get some insider tips, find out where the best cocktails are or like where the coolest bartenders are, or whatever. You can really get like into a specific area
Yeah.
and it doesn't cost any extra money. It's just like
Yeah.
finding your people.
Well, I think like the moral of all of this is sometimes the funnest part of going to Disney is planning the trip.
Totally.
And that goes into that category.
Totally. My last one is use Google Flights. They have like a price tracker. So you can always watch and see if the price of your travel has gone up or down. They have a little predictor in there. So it'll tell you if it's a good time to book, a historically low price for this time of year, blah, blah, blah.
And
Um,
while flights can change, I would recommend checking your flights before you book your trip.
oh my God. Yeah, you especially. I know that's
Yeah.
been heartache for us.
Yes. So that is, I mean, yes, they can change, but they don't usually like drastically change. So if you check your flights for when you want to go and they're like absurd, maybe change your stay.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and there are so many things that could be happening that you have no idea about,
Right.
like a cheerleader conference on
Right.
property or something like, or like a bunch of people, like a high school team from your hometown could be flying down that
Yeah,
week. So you have no idea why a
exactly.
random, it doesn't have to be Christmas, could be like any reason.
Correct.
So that's all I got. You got anything else?
I got nothing. That was good.
It was good. It was in depth, it was thorough, it was long.
I'm excited to plan our trip.
I know. Good. I'm excited to hear what you have planned
Nothing yet, but
and to see you.
I know.
It's going to be so good.
Can't wait. All right.
Go get your baby.
I gotta go get my kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye, guys.
Bye.